Hi, good evening. It's Meir Weinstein from Israel Now. I'm going to make a very important statement addressed to the Canadian Jewish community. Just going to pause for a moment just to make sure the connections are all on. Just give me a moment and people will join us. Just one moment. Let's just make sure everything's working here. Today was quite the day with Al-Quds Day in Toronto, Canada. Just one moment, just bear with me. Oops. Okay. Okay. It was quite the day for the Jewish community. Uh, it was a bad day for the entire Jewish community. Uh, Premier Doug Ford made a statement in 2018 that he was going to stop Al-Quds Day for good. And year after year, the community has appealed to him. I was very involved with that. I led all kinds of counter protests against Al-Quds Day, and nothing happened. This time around, on Friday, yesterday, Premier Doug Ford said that he's telling the Attorney General to get an injunction to stop Al-Quds Day, which occurred today. He was not successful at all. It was probably just way too late for him to take any action to convince a judge. He could have invoked the Emergencies Act, which he did against the truckers during COVID. He didn't do that. But he did make an interesting statement on Friday. He said he doesn't recognize Canada anymore, this Canada anymore. That there are synagogues that are being shot up, that the American consulate was shot up as well. Across the border, there was a horrific attack against a synagogue in Detroit. The terrorists had explosives in the vehicle. Could have gone off, just thank God it didn't go off. And there was a preschool right there at the synagogue. They could have been all massacred. Thank God that didn't occur. It could have. Doug Ford was very clear also. He says that Al-Quds Day promotes terrorism. He said Al-Quds Day promotes attacks against the Jewish community. And he was not able to stop it. And the Toronto police provided full security and escort, free of charge, to those who marched, to the Khomeini supporters who marched in Al-Quds Day. Now, when you have to consider the statements that Premier Doug Ford said, in order to this makes sense, what I'm trying to get across. There's an increase in Khomeini supporters moving to Canada. There are some who were identified Friday at Toronto International Airport, arriving from Iran to participate in Al-Quds Day. Khomeini leaders came to Canada. There are IRGC, at least 700 of them in Canada. IRGC is listed as a terrorist organization and is the military arm of the Khomeini regime, responsible for terrorism throughout the world. So there was a hearing today, and an Ontario judge permitted Samadun to appear in court to argue for Al-Quds Day. Now, Samadun is listed as a terrorist organization in Canada. So they're testifying, and the judge, there's no issue with that. There's an issue with the argument against Al-Quds Day. And the Toronto police made it very clear also that anyone who tries to interfere with Al-Quds, they will be placed under arrest. And they did that today, in fact. There was a police officer by the name of Farhan Ali that myself and others exposed that he had a podcast. And in the podcast, he said that after October 7th, the greatest slaughter of Israelis in the history of Israel, since the Holocaust, the greatest slaughter of Jews, that day was like a great day for Muslims in Canada. Many Muslims or many people adopted Islam as a result of October 7th. He was proud of that. He was happy about that. He said that. So my question is, how many other police officers are similar to Officer Farhan Ali? How many? The Solicitor General, Michael Kersner, actually gave an award to Officer Farhan and his partner, Siddiqui, after they were exposed. So what do I have to say about this? What I have to say is the situation is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Obviously, Jewish organizations and synagogues and institutions in our schools have to strengthen our security. There's no question about that. And we need armed guards. No question about that. Armed security. The security at the Detroit synagogue, it was an armed security officer that shot the terrorists and stopped the attack. It could have been horrific. So that has to be done. There's no question about that. But the future of Canadian Jews is really in jeopardy. And Canadian Jews should really consider an exit strategy, because unless Canada changes its position and starts deporting people who support listed terrorist organizations, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, the RGC, the list goes on. And if Canada is not going to deport them and is going to allow more to come into Canada, then obviously we have a serious problem. And if the Ontario courts and other courts are going to give a platform to Samadon that is listed as a terrorist organization, and Samadon publicly burns Canadian flags in Canada, this goes on. And there's fatwas from Iran to kill anyone who supports the war right now against Iran, to kill them. Those are the fatwas. They just issued a statement earlier today that the Ukraine is a fair target now because the Ukraine supplies some drone technology to Israel. So whatever involvement Canada has with Israel, Iran will also issue a statement similar. It's open season here. So Jews have to consider an exit strategy. And the best place for Jews, obviously, is in Israel. Now, it doesn't have to happen like tomorrow, but this has to be at the top of the list of future planning for the Jewish community. And also in terms of investment. Jews should consider relocating their investments into Israel, something that is safe, instead of in Canada, where the Canadian government has been targeting Jewish charities to shut them down and allow all kinds of terror-linked charities to exist in Canada and thrive. Like I said from the start, what happened today with Al-Quds Day was horrific for the Jewish community. And we have to start thinking big. Now, the policy of a previous Canadian government under Mackenzie King during the Second World War was not to allow Jews to move to Canada. None is too many. We have a similar position from the Liberal Party of Canada when they say that Muslim values are Canadian values. And the Prime Minister says that as he visits an Islamic organization that have had conference after conference bring in some of the most extreme speakers, that's what the Prime Minister says. And therefore, he has a message for the Jewish community when he says that. Jewish community, my brothers and sisters, please wake up. Please share this video. We have a lot of work to do. It's very unfortunate what is going on, but please share this video. We have a lot of work to do. Get involved with us to get the truth out. You can go on our website. You could send us an email, israelnow.ca. You could make a donation if you'd like. I believe there's a link there. Please do that. We have a lot of work to do, and it's not a day to start hiding. How far is that going to go? Don't go to synagogue. Avoid the Jewish community. It's not going to work. They'll find out you're Jewish anyways. Tucker Carlson, the Jew hater that he is, says that all Jews should undergo a DNA test. Yeah. That's the language that's going on. Anyways, please share this, and I'll have a lot more videos. We'll have a lot more discussions on this topic. But right now, Israel and the United States are engaged in a war against the Islamic regime in Iran, and they're having tremendous success. And the island that Iran has 90% of their oil, the United States pretty much took it over. Not fully, but pretty much. All the air defenses, all the defense systems there are down, are gutted by the United States campaign. Thank you. So, we got to be on the right side. And so far, Canada's not on the right side. And it's dangerous for the Jewish community. Thank you very much. Please share this.